Hi, this question is about the circular motion of a card over this curved track, and it has been taken from the practice exam 2022. So, we will compare in this question the normal force with the weight in these three cases. So, in a first case, you see that a card is at the top of this track, and right at this position, when it is moving over this track, over this curved path, so basically this curved path is a part of this circle. If I show you that this is just representing a section of this circular path. So in order to move, in order to stick with this curved path, remember that it had been, there must be some necessary centripetal force provided to this card, then in that case, it can execute its motion around the track. And it means that, so it means that the net force should be towards the center. So this should be the net force that should be towards center. But this resultant force or the net force is actually provided by the two forces. The one force is this the normal force, and that is applied upward because it is pushing the cart is pushing the track down. So the track is applying the force upward. So this is a normal force one. So the weight must be greater, okay, because only in that case the resultant force would be downward. So it means that this is the case in which the normal force is always less than the force of gravity because the net force is downward towards the center, and it is equal to the centripetal force. So let's proceed to the next part. And in the same cart is now moving in this track over the track, and right now it is at the bottom. So once again, you can see that the center of this circular path is somewhere here. Okay, and the resultant force must be towards the center in order to execute this circular motion, which means that the normal force which is exerted on it, the normal force must be always greater than the force of gravity, is always larger than or greater than weight. So we conclude that the normal force is always more than the force of gravity. Okay. So, so the third case represents this roller coaster track in which the cart, when it will be released, and it is loop in the loop. So it is right now at a top of its inside the circular track. So right at this point, you can see that this is a center, right? And when it is a center, then it is not necessary that the normal force is always more than the force of gravity, right? It can be less or greater or even equal, okay, because both forces are in the same direction. So that's why both forces, the sum of both forces, are providing the centripetal force. So that's why it is not necessary. It can be more than force of gravity. It may be the less than force of gravity because in both of these cases, it is in the same direction, that is towards center. So it means that, so this result which we have concluded is only given in option B. So this must be the right answer.